Hi and welcome to another episode of TRX Bench. Here today on the bench we have a Yaesu FT-767GX and the owner is complaining that the main dial for some reason doesn't really work, so he has to move it a little bit, and yes, on the first glance it really looks like that something is wrong. It feels a little bit loose. So yeah, let's see what's going on and if we can really reconstruct the described fault. Okay, so let's switch on and let's see what's going on here. Okay. I mean, the first is that we have here a needle on approximately S8, which is a little bit funny. So there is definitely no signal. Now it's going down. Okay, let's see what we have. So, well, yeah, so you see, yeah, it is jumping. So really it looks like that there is something wrong here with the encoder. So that is definitely not normal. So definitely, yeah, that is definitely a problem here. So that means we really have to take it apart. You see how it is jumping again. Yeah, so there is for sure something wrong here with our dial. So okay, let's take the radio apart and let's see first why it is so loose. So that is really a little bit funny. Okay, so I've taken it apart so far, and what we can see here is that the shaft has a lot of play, so that already is showing the issue. So I try to take it out to get a better idea of what's going on here. Okay, so now it is loose and we can take it out, and here is our complete encoder. So let's prepare it here a little bit that we can test it a little bit better. Okay, so the encoder is sitting here, and you see when I touch it we have already a change. So, and yeah, you see it jumping, or it is simply doing nothing. So definitely we have here a broken encoder. I mean, this problem is known with the FT-767, and in the past we have really changed a lot of these encoders, but this radio is already very old, and you do not get any replacement encoders from Yaesu. So the only way to fix it is to replace the complete encoder with an encoder from the free market. So we have some Burns, I do not really know how to pronounce it, which would fit. So therefore we have to discuss it with the owner if he really wants to invest some money to get this original one replaced by an encoder from the spare part market, and if definitely he has to consider it is still an old radio. So not really easy to say, but for sure this one needs to get replaced. Okay, so we have talked to the owner, and he decided that we should go ahead. So alright, we have to order a new encoder, and now we can go ahead here and check here a little bit the rest of the unit to get a better understanding what's really going on. So the first what we have recognized is that we do not have here any backlight, so I mean that is not very difficult to replace here. A new, yeah, we would replace it with an LED, of course. And yeah, let's check a little bit our receiver performance. So I have already set here our generator to the same frequency on SSB RX. So let's go over to the tester and see what's going on here. Okay, so I'm feeding already minus 100 dBm, so let's increase it to minus 80 maybe, and yeah, so you see, okay, so with minus 98 we are already under 12 dB SINET, which looks not so good. So let's see. Oh, so what I'm doing is I'm touching here at the back of our radio. Let me bring it here into the picture a little bit better. Okay, so we have here a little switch, and it seems like we have here a problem with this little selector switch. Yeah, let us have a look into the schematic to understand what's going on here. Yeah, as you can see it here, we have here a little switch for additional RX antenna or external receiver or what have we, and there is a switch called SEP switch, and that is the one we have down here. And yeah, I mean, you see even in the position where we should have our full performance, it depends a little bit. So our SINET is bouncing back and forth. So when I go to our tester, you can see now with the same input level, and you see that it is really jumping here. And you see now with the same input level, minus 98 dBm, now it is showing 18 dB SINET. I mean, I do not really know if we are in spec, but what we can see is that it is better than when we tested it before. And yeah, you see it is really jumping. So there is something wrong. So I have to clean it. I believe that this switch here is somewhat dirty. So you see sometimes we really go up to 19 dB, which might be fine with this receiver. Anyways, so that is what we need to do. And we have, besides the fact that there is no backlight, we have a problem with the S-meter, but that could be in conjunction with our little switch, that something is wrong here with our S-meter reading. So that is where we need to keep an eye on as well. And I have recognized that the AF pot was dirty. Now it seems to be a little bit better, but anyways, I'm sure it is a good idea to clean the pot as well a little bit. Down here, this one here, we should check this. And I guess I have seen that something is also wrong here with our memory. So let me simply go up here, it doesn't matter, to 18, whatever. And when I now switch the radio off completely, and let me switch it back on, it is holding it, but I guess I have seen that the radio is losing the memory. So maybe, yeah, so that looks fine. What happens if I completely switch off here my power supply, so that there is definitely nothing any longer? And now when I go and switch it back, it still keeps it, but I just want to check the little battery, because I guess I have seen that it was losing it. Anyways, we check it as well. So first, now let's go and check here our receiver pass, and especially this little switch. Here we can see it from underneath, and there we have our little switch, and you see it is really an open switch where all the dust and the dirt can easily get in, and therefore it is really no wonder that there is a problem with you know, a switch where we lead our antenna signal over. So normally it should not be an open version, but anyways, it is what it is. And yeah, let's clean it with some dioxide. I'm using here my trusty Contact 60, and yeah, let's give it a shoot here. And let's see how it works. So I leave it on for a while until I spray it out of it. But now I let it work here a little bit, that we really can get back our full performance. Okay, and after cleaning, that is a moment of truth. So we have here our sensitivity chart, and for SSB, what is most important to us, we need to check out here the figures. So you see, this is here for SSB, and the requirement is 10 dB signal plus noise, 2 noise in microvolt, right? And from previous tests we have done, we know that we can also use synod, as synod is, if you reach the synod level, then you can finally be sure you would also meet the signal plus noise to noise requirement. Now it is important the frequency we are testing on, and of course we are testing here between 1.5 up to 29.99 megahertz, so our normal ham radio shortwave area, and we should be able to reach with 250 nanovolt, so that is 0.25 microvolt. Of course, we should be able to peak our 10 dB. And as I told you, we tested with synod, and we should be able to peak minimum 10 dB synod, or maybe even a little bit less, because the requirement for synod is even a little bit higher. So let's see what it is. And I really went into the middle of our band, so I'm on the 20-meter band, as you can see, and you see I'm feeding here my 0.25 microvolt, so that is the sensitivity requirement. And what you can see here is that we are able to peak our 10 dB, and that is telling us that we are totally matching the requirements. So that means the cleaning of this little switch really did the trick, and our unit is sensitive as it should. So that is the first issue we really solved, and our tester is proving the result. Okay, and still we are waiting here for our new encoder, so we can go ahead here with some other things we have to do here on this transceiver. And maybe it is a good idea to go ahead here with our S meter. I mean, first of all, it might be a good idea to illuminate it, because it is completely dark, which is really not nice. But by the way, we can test once again. Let me zoom in a little bit, that we can see our S meter a bit better. And let me feed minus 73 dBm, because so once again minus 73 dBm, so that is now a level of minus 73 dBm, and I can reduce here my output voltage a little bit. But anyways, as you see, we are very close to S9, so that means obviously our meter is not that wrong as we have seen it first. So that means I will go and try to fix here the illumination, and then let's have a look into the service manual, what the service manual is telling us for S meter alignment. Okay, lights. Okay, so we have here our light bulbs, and you see they are not working. So because I have two. Another one is down there, and that is dark as well. So yeah, let me replace it with, I guess I put here some LEDs in, so then I hope it will last a little bit longer. So the only thing I'm interested is if we have voltage here at that point, and yeah, when we know that, so I do not need to show that on video. I cut them off, and then we replace it, and then we can go ahead. Okay, as we can already see, the new bulbs are in, and yeah, so the new ones are a little bit smaller than the old ones, and that means we have to fix it a little bit in its best position, and that is what I'm going to do here with some hot glue. And of course we have to do it on both sides, and then it should be fine, and we will have good illumination of our S-meter. And meanwhile I received here my package from DigiKey, and the important thing for you as well is here the spare part number. So if you like to do exactly the same repair, so that is here definitely the spare part number, which you can type in on the website of DigiKey, and you will find this little new encoder, and really compared to what we have here originally, you see that the new one is a lot of smaller, and yeah, now we can connect here the new one to the wiring. So I finally cut it off here. I simply, can you see it? Not really, I believe. So let me see. So basically I really cut it off, because we do not need the old stuff here any longer. So we simply now use here our wiring and connect it here to our new encoder. So let me do that, and then we can test if it works. Of course, I have here the original data sheet from our new encoder, and most important, of course, is here our terminal description, which we find here. So that is the terminal description, and of course you find exactly the same information here back on the back side of our original encoder, and therefore the first is ground, the second is not connected, the third is channel A, then we have our voltage supply, and then on the right hand side the last one is our B channel. And according to our manual, our service manual, we have here a clear information about what is what. So you see we have yellow, we have orange, we have brown, and we have a red wire. And according to our service manual, we know that brown is ground, channel A is the orange wire, and our VCC or supply voltage is yellow, alright, and our channel B is then obviously, of course, our red wire. So, and that is now how we have to connect it to our new encoder. So let me do that, and then we can do our testing. Okay, and here again, here our color coding. So brown, orange, yellow and red. So that is how it should be connected, and now of course we all are interested if this configuration is really working. So let me switch here the radio on, and okay, so do we see our display good enough? Let me check. Yeah, so that should be fine. Alright, and now let me simply check if it is working. Yeah, so it is going down and it is going up, and it is not jumping, so everything seems to be fine. And of course now we can remount it. Great, and as you can see, everything is back as we want to see it. And now let's switch it on, and okay, so no antenna is connected to the radio, but we are more interested in the question, is it working as it should? And you see it is really working great, and now here it is no problem any longer to go very little steps. So now we can move it, and you see it is definitely not jumping any longer, and it is fine. Okay, I mean, what we need to know, it is not the original encoder, so that is a matter of fact. And the touch and feel is of course a little bit different to what we had here with our original. That is for sure. I mean, we are not able to buy any new encoder here from Yaesu, so that is the reason why we needed to put a second market spare part here into the radio. And yes, it is a little bit different. It is a little bit different touch and feel, but anyways, compared to the situation that we cannot get a new one, this is brilliant. Okay, you may need to get used a little bit to it. Maybe you know, the fraction is a little bit more or less. I do not really know how you felt it with this one, but anyways, after a short while you are completely used to it, and it will be fine. Okay, and that means we are definitely here at the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye.